Plus, you get to go to the local auto parts store and spend twice as much money for the part that works half as good. So there's always that.
Green flag, green flag.
Welcome to the Blind Apex Podcast, where amateur club racers tune in to get faster.
This episode is brought to you by GHiT Fuel Systems. Visit GHiTworks.com for all your fuel system needs. On this episode, we're going to revisit an old topic, somewhere around episode 6. Things evolve, other people have opinions, and we're revisiting race programs. I see a lot of folks talking about it on Instagram, other social media, and some of my opinion has changed. Well, maybe not changed, we'll say evolved. And since I've evolved, I'm sure my guests have evolved in how they approach a race program. So speaking of my guests, some may compare them to Nick Fury and Iron Woman.
Iron Woman, very nice.
Yeah, the dynamic duo of Garage Heroes in Training podcast, Miss Vicki and the good Dr. William. Welcome to the podcast, sir.
Oh, God, doctor. I'm in trouble now.
Oh, they threw doctor out. That's a rare.
Yeah, well, he's been on twice. He's been on twice, and, I had to find something, and I figure I'd throw him under the bus a little bit for that. So
it's all right. I felt like a speed bump on the road of your podcast intro. So I want to set the bar low here. We're not, if I remember correctly, not that I've listened to every one of your podcasts multiple times, but if I remember correctly, we are about to lower the level of program from one EJ2 track rat, if I remember correctly, back in episode 6-ish. Was he the one for programs? No, he was the one for don't spend any money. Is that what he was doing? Which was
and you learn that lesson the hard way that you got to spend money to compete. So
true.
But no, Christopher Michaels was on. He's That's podiumed. Right. And then won a national championship. So it was good to get his perspective. We sort of pigeonholed ourselves in that one and really talked about track side-ish only. Mm-hmm. And so, but you guys run Garage Heroes in Training, and you're a Lemons team. Mm-hmm. So
Lemons, Lucky Dog, AR. Anybody will let us have it.
We dabbled a little bit in AER, but we're trying to go a little bit more into that direction this year.
Yeah, and that's an endurance team, which I think, because I listened to your podcast at the day of recording, I was listening to episode 666, and you guys are spitting some really good information that may actually double down on this podcast. But you're coaching a newborn, fledgling, what do you guys call brand new endurance teams? Like, they've got to have some sort of
baby birds,
fresh meat, baby birds.
Yeah, fresh meat.
Yeah.
So you're coaching them and encouraging them on how to start their journey. And I think that's a pretty good idea in general, because everything we talk about today, you're not going to do off the break. And you're not going to go, well, I'm missing these 10 items and I'm going to do them all tomorrow. You really do evolve in this. So, yeah. Anyway.
Well, there's two big reasons. I mean, you've got limited amount of funding and time.
Correct.
And then you don't know your car. So you don't, as much as you think you know what's going to break, you don't know what's going to break. And you learn that with time. And each car seems to have its own idiosyncrasies and weak spots, because I mean, let's face it, when you're racing, you push it to a weak spot, no matter if it has one or not, you're going to find one. And sometimes the solution to that is not as straightforward as we all wish it was, or otherwise I'd be a lot less gray, and Miss Vicki would like going to the garage more than she does.
So I was on your podcast when did that go out? January-ish,
December, January. Yeah.
The goals podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to set the stage a little bit here. How do you think your goals are going to go for 2025?
Well, after 2024, I think we have nothing to do but increase and improve, because 2024 was a bit of a calamity on our end.
Yeah.
So, Miss Vicki, do you remember what your big goals are for the year?
Yeah.
That's enough.
Last year or this year?
This year.
This year's goals.
This year's goals. I'm getting a slow start for this year. We had things go sideways after right around Christmas, and so we're getting a late start this year.
Jeremy to the rescue, though.
Yeah, Jeremy's to the rescue. I hit the wall with my car last year, with our race car. It was half a lap down, and I have just now dropped the donor car off to the body shop to get straightened. Well, start getting it lined up, and if it had not have snowed, we would be dropping off the race car now. So in the meantime, we're going to be driving the race truck, which is making another appearance, which is great because we used to have that race truck and sold it, and now we get to race it in the first part of our season. So that is going to be one of the goals is to try to, is going to be getting the cars back in shape is going to be one of my main focuses once I get this other one done. As for the racing, back in training is what it is. I am going to take my Miata back out to the SCCA and do my re-register for my comp license, and then work on my skills on the track.
Even I do that, so I don't need a new comp license. But yeah,
perhaps in the history of this podcast, that is the longest answer that didn't answer the question at all, I believe.
Sorry. My overall goals, get the cars ready.
You only have 5, sweetie.
Yeah.
Bill probably pulled up the spreadsheet or the Word doc that it's on. Maybe.
Yeah.
When you have a tool, you use it. Sometimes I am the tool, but that's okay.
Oh.
Are you the hammer?
It feels like I'm the nail recently. So you're supposed to continue your mechanic training and work with Zephyr on a transmission.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
finish the trailer.
Yeah.
Welding.
Yeah, I don't have my doc up from last year.
Sim room.
My bad.
And get to VIR.
Yes, VIR is going to be the big one this year. Mm-hmm. We've been trying to get there for the last 4 years.
Yep.
And something is always interrupted. So
we're scared of Con. That's what it is.
Yeah. Con, are you done? You're done.
Yeah. I mean, down this way. I'm 4.5 hours from VIR. So.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the far north part of the state, and VIR's back. I mean, you drive into North Carolina to get to that part of Virginia, so it's as far south as you can get, I feel like. Doctor, what were your goals?
Doctor, wow.
Bill has.
All right, I'll leave it alone.
Goals. You know how much I love that. This year I only have 7. Last year I had like 28. So, 4 or 5 races and HPDEs. E46, get that finally fixed. We're going to go to an autocross. I'm playing with my carbon parts. Text me if you have something cheap and easy that you want, because it'll be free. To get the mini Sunday Cup ready. That one's going to be tricky, but we're getting there. I have a remaining amount of poundage to get rid of.
Sunday Cups. Oh, that's right. The minis. We got rid of the fits. And
then I had to throw a chess one in there. So I have to reach a certain rating, and then I have a play over the board, which I finally figured out how to do. So I'm in decent shape for this year. I think the hardest one for me is going to be the number of races, because this year is stacking up to be just a calamity of multiple schedules being a bad confluence for race season. But we're going to try. We're not done yet.
Okay.
Bill normally travels in August, and that's one of our races. So I think this year if I can get the car ready, we're going to put in an all-girls team for it.
Okay.
Yep. Upgrade. Get rid of me. Dead weight.
He's not going to be there anyway, so we'll drive out.
Well, you have to get a tall girl to take his place, so you do the same seat changes, right?
No, they make it so that the fully extended all the way back position is for 5'7", and everybody else fits perfectly. And then they conveniently, with quotes for the people not on the audio, I mean on the video podcast, which doesn't exist, they conveniently forget to do that for the next race. So I end up driving like Lurch driving in a compact car. My knees above my
curled
head.
Up in a ball.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Makes going to third gear very difficult.
So we're talking race programs.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, can you define what a race program means to you?
To me,
maybe I'll let Vicki go last. I'll go after you.
Fine. Ladies last. It works. To me, a race program is pretty much everything involved in getting to and from the racetrack, hopefully successfully. I think one of the big differentiators between what you typically race in and what we typically race in is your entire season is really one race weekend for us in terms of duration and wear and tear. So I think Adam Gippe puts it pretty succinctly. He says, every weekend you guys are just burning your car to the ground. And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. So we tend to we travel a little heavier. We bring a lot more spare parts. We have, 4 drivers typically. We have all the food and everything multiplied by 4. We've got, typically we bring 3 or 4 cars to a race. So then logistics start growing up because each car has 4 drivers, and then support people. Hopefully we could use all the support we can get. Luckily we don't have to worry about bringing any sponsors or fans. So that cuts down on the number of people that we need to bring, but it turns into a traveling circus. And, if we're not smart enough to have the same car, so all of our cars are different, which means all of our spare packages are different, which means all of our wear parts are different, which means all of our tools are different. And, we're working towards fixing that, but I would be very presumptuous to say we have solved that problem. We are hoping to solve that problem in the next couple of years, but we still have a mixture of cars.
Yeah. And we've gotten much better. We've started
nowhere to go but up.
Yeah. True.
Do you want to go next, or do you want me to give you some more time to think about what you're going to say, Vicki?
Well, no, it's just backing up on what Bill says. That is the race program. When he does mention that we do bring 3 or 4 cars, when we go to the races, we have a lot of sister teams that we kind of bump up against, so they kind of bring all their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But say, for instance, we go to an HPDE and we go to a training event, we certainly bring the extra cars for ourselves, and then normally we always host somebody new. That is kind of our jam. That we more so enjoy bringing people in. So this year we are working with a new team, and that is part of our program this year, when we're going to ambassador this fledgling team that's coming through. But
two actually this year.
Yeah.
I thought I heard
we're actively working with now.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we've got Ryan's team too.
Mm-hmm.
So I did my homework and I sat down and I tried to pontificate. So here it is. I think it's a plan or a systematic blueprint to stay organized, prepared, and provide the best opportunities to grow as a racer in general.
Mm-hmm.
But it comprises lots of things. Some of things Bill alluded to. So let's see. You guys talked about a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have a big team because of what you do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You have multiple drivers. They're not only driving, right? They do other duties. You were talking about other responsibilities and things. Whereas me, I have myself, my wife, and a friend of mine. So I worry about 3 people. You have more drivers than I worry about, total.
Yeah.
So what kind of things go into having a big team?
Napoleon, I think, said an army runs on its stomach. So, so with that, we have a much higher amount of just food. And we've found that things go much better when we have both meals and snacks and liquids, especially non-alcoholic liquids. The alcoholic liquids seem to show up in droves, but you're only allowed to do that once a track goes closed. But if you dehydrate, especially when you're endurance racing, if you dehydrate at any point during the weekend, the rest of the weekend you are shot. So you just have to avoid it. Same thing with you guys. If you dehydrate, you just don't drive well the rest of the weekend.
I would say for our racing, we don't cheapen on paddock or garage. We have found that if our drivers are comfortable, well rested, and of course well nourished, then the weekend goes much better. And of course, with the garage, we have a tendency to overpack, which makes our team a little slower, getting in and out and everything. But we are relatively over prepared. So it makes our weekends go a lot easier.
Well, it depends, philosophically. If you have a car, let's say you have a Chevy, just some Chevy mid-size sedan, why you would race one, don't know. But if you had one, you can go get parts from the local flaps. You can go to Advance or AutoZone or anybody else willing to sponsor the Blind Apex podcast. Contact Con. You can go there and get parts. But, one of our cars is a few of our cars are BMWs. You're not getting any parts, not the parts that we break. If you have a 1993 Honda Civic, not getting many parts that are the ones that you're going to be shut down for the weekend. So you kind of have to be self-sufficient. You're like a little desert island in the paddock. And if you don't have it, or if your friends don't have it, you could be in trouble. And Con, you've got a little bit of an advantage. And A, Honda still makes your parts. And B, there's some still, your car's new enough where you've got a slight chance, not a great chance of getting a part. But is that the part you really want? And is that the part that's going to make you competitive, or is it the part that's going to let you get back on the track? And there's a difference there.
Many times I've bought and put on parts store parts to finish the weekend and already have ordered the OEM replacement,
Yeah, 100%.
By the time that parts store part is installed, I've ordered the OEM replacement to show up to my house.
Yeah.
And that sort of goes, I don't know how I want to skip around here, but that goes into logistics.
For sure.
And you guys have a more complicated logistics life than I do. Thankfully, one of the first things I do with the car in general is I go head to toe on it. I do a lot of research on it. And then I want to measure things. I want to measure how fast am I consuming brakes? How fast am I consuming tires? Because all of that goes into the logistics of how much do I order at the beginning of the year? Does it show up? That type of thing. When does it show up in country? Those types of things. Is it a rare part? Like my transmission is comprised of pretty rare gear sets right now. So, and I have to take care of that so they don't get ruined, because getting your hands on them is impossible. And you sure won't get it the weekend of, nobody's going to have a used set laying around.
Plus you get to go to the local auto parts store and spend twice as much money for the part that works half as good. So there's always that frustration.
Oh, definitely. Yep. But how are you guys planning? We're in the off season right now, off season in quotation marks. How are you guys planning your year, especially now that you have 2 potentially two different vehicles you're going to campaign, right? The truck for the beginning of the year and the Civic for the rest of the year.
When the Civic's ready, hopefully it'll come in towards the end of the season. But
the short answer is Vicki doesn't plan.
Bill plans for me.
Don't worry, Vicki.
I follow the schedule.
I have wheelhouse questions for you because I knew Bill wasn't going to be able to answer those. So
for sure. So checklist, it's the only way. And then somewhat anal about my labeling of totes. I have things toted. I put a label on both ends. So A, I know what's in there, and B, I know what it is without having to go digging. And then when somebody takes it, unfortunately, some of my team doesn't know that this is the procedure, but if you take the part out, you take the label and you spin it 90 degrees. That way I know the part has left the building, so I will put it back in. So one of the things we do in the wintertime is go through the totes and make sure what's labeled on the tote is actually inside the tote, because nothing makes me unhappier than not having the part. But the thing that makes me even worse is when I have it on the label, but it's not in the box. You can just you just sign my weekend off. I have lost my mind right there. Just boom.
So I think it's a little bit of scheduling, logistics, budgeting, all sort of comes to play because
you can't have everything.
You can't have everything at once unless you start with a pile of money and only use that pile of money and then start another account and start shifting funds over, right? Yeah. So there's always this game of I start with this amount of money. How much am I stealing from next year? How much am I, but I'm going to assume the truck and the Civic don't take the same tire size, right?
Not even close.
Right. So now you're planning for two different sets of tires to potentially have to purchase, right?
So tires is a particularly soft subject for Miss Vicki. She hates what I do. But for every race, I will bring at least two full sets of brand new tires. And I will bring one set of rain tires. And if the tires that are on the vehicle are slightly worn, that doesn't count. So technically, I have 16 tires for every car that we bring, which means if you go look at one of our hangars, which has most of our tires, we have, I would guess we're probably close to 100 tires in there, just because different sizes, different weights, different cars, different, it has our road cars too. So tires is a little business unto itself. And Miss Vicki loses her mind. She's like, we don't ever use these tires. But the last thing I want to do, Con, is be at a racetrack and get a nail and have no tire and be sitting there going, oh, what I would do if I only had one tire. So I always just throw them in the truck when she's not looking. And then I get yelled at when we're at the track. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good.
He's blustering. I gotta tell you, he is. So he has gotten down to right now at about 8 tires, which is great. I do know that our hangar probably holds at about 30 tires right now, not quite 100 because you got a lot. I don't know what you're counting because it's not.
Well, it's 8 per row.
Is that he does have sets of tires for each car. And right now that we are running, some of our tires are similar, but not exact. But we have since, lowered the amount of vehicles that we have. So the usable tires that we have are quite what we use, and they're on the racks. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 tire racks, I would say 4, 5, 6 tire racks, I think. But some of those are also for like our daily drivers, our winter tires and things like that. So we garage out of an air hangar, out of 2 air hangars actually. So our stuff does get a little bit excessive for all the parts and all of the extra stuff that we have. It does kind of get a little overwhelming for the amount of engines that we have to hold or the amount of extra parts and big parts. it gets a little complicated. So
spare car, spare chassis, whatever.
Spare chassis, yeah.
That's all part of your logistics plan, right? Because
it is.
You got to move things around and storage, and
part of that is just maintaining, because we got to get in there in the spring, and sometimes you got to be hard of what you want to keep and what you really just have to get rid of, because you can't keep it all.
I drive a Honda. I hoard everything.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's quite something. It does get a little overwhelming.
I also admit that I have a problem. I hate paying for shipping. So I will bulk buy, and
which is tough.
Yeah. So like if I need 2 different style wheel bearings and I need 2 to do a full set, I'll buy 4 one time and save on shipping. And the other thing I do is I save on shipping, and if I have all the wheel bearings, none of them ever go bad. It's a win-win.
Yeah. That's if you bring your wets, it doesn't
exactly.
The weather
never
doesn't
rains.
come.
If
right?
I have rain tires, it does not rain.
Right.
But so I feel like for me, especially this part of the season, I had to set up my schedule. Well, first I had to determine my goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
luckily we had
literally
a podcast for you there.
Correct. Absolutely. and I appreciate it. I would sit here on a piece of paper and just like doodle them out and not actually talk them out or think them out before I got on the podcast, and they'd be probably a little crazy, right?
Yeah, a little fuzzy.
We cleaned them up a little bit. I cleaned them up before I got on the podcast. You called me out on a couple things, and we keep carrying on, right? I mean, this is what we do. We enable each other. But you set your goals, and then you sort of got to like look at your budget, look at the size of your team, the manpower you have. You have to figure out the logistics, because I'm going to many more events this year than I was last year, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to at least 2 out of cycle events, and I'm trying to keep my practice and testing days up like I did last year.
Which is really good, because a lot of racers, especially sprint racers, don't do that. And I think that they're underserving their program or themselves. You don't learn how to go fast efficiently at a race.
Oh, yeah, you don't. There's no time.
No.
A NASA sprint race weekend in the Mid-Atlantic region, you're on track 5 times.
Yep. And you're thinking about way other things, or you should be, than, how did I do on my Apex? Was my entry the right time? You should be thinking about all those little things that have 4 wheels that are around you, like little butterflies, and how to get past them.
You practice Saturday, qualify Saturday, race Saturday, then race twice on Sunday, and you're done. Mm-hmm. There's no time to truly work or tweak yourself or the car, right?
No.
You can go, I need to work on X or Y or Z as a driver. But when that checkered flag drops, those last 3, like it's not the same. It's a different atmosphere when you're racing, right?
And it should be.
So yes, it should be. It should be. Somehow I can pull the same lap times off, whether I'm in traffic or by myself. I don't understand it. So
I have some ideas.
Anyway. Well, me too. Drive faster.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a pansy.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, well, it's also that time of year. You're sending your car to the body shop. I didn't send mine to the body shop, even though it needs it, but I am prepping my car, right?
To be fair, we usually never send cars to the body shop. It's just something we don't do. However, Miss Vicki managed to bend it in 2 different dimensions, and it's right on the edge of, is this car gone? And that's past our skill level. So we took it to somebody else, because the only thing we care about is safety. I mean, it's great. We love it. It's fun. Tons of fun. It's not worth getting hurt over. So I took it to them. I said, listen, if you get in there and you sit there and say, this car is dead, just tell me. We'll build another one. But
yeah, and I can tell you as somebody who drove a bent Civic that was sort of not fixed right, like it'll cause gremlins, and it's not fun. And it puts you in some really unsafe situations. So,
I mean, the cage is great and everything, but if the car is not square in multiple dimensions,
right,
you trying to get to the limits. It could be a totally different car going left and going right.
Right. So when you're looking at your logistics and you're looking at your schedule, you also need to build in time because you don't prep your car once a year. You guys definitely don't.
No.
But
we try to do the big one in the winter. And then we try and hold it through the rest of the season as best we can.
Right. But you guys talked about wheel bearings, and on the podcast I was listening to today, you were talking about, well, just replace it now. If you don't know the hours that are on it, replace it and start over again. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've got rear hubs that like to destroy themselves. They're on a 2-year cycle and they need to be replaced. This is big car prep items. And then you're hoping to maintain in between events, but you need to plan logistically with your schedule together to go, okay, what if I break something? Can I get it together to meet my schedule still? And then that ties into your budget. What if you're budgeting too tightly and you break something that's costly, then you're throwing off your schedule, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, but schedule wise, to me, especially in the off season, throughout the season, don't schedule to make the race on Saturday. Schedule to finish it as fast as you can because something's going to happen. Like if we have a race, our first race is typically in April. I want the car locked and loaded in the trailer late February. So if I miss, I'm still okay. Drives Vicki crazy.
So Vicki, the next thing I wanted to talk about tied into one of your goals. I know it says finish the trailer as one of your goals, but this is the time of year where you really need to look at your trailer and your truck, right?
Yeah. Yep.
If they need major work or service, you got to get it done, right? And I'm trying to get somebody from TFL Trucks on the podcast, but it's their busy recording season.
Yep.
So I'm trying to get somebody to specifically talk about like what to do.
We've been trying to get e-trailer for years. They're non-committal.
Yeah. So, my life is easy, right? I have a low wear and tear open trailer. It's small. It barely fits the car, but it's got bigger axles than it needed. And they're all easy lube axles, right? So every couple of years I look at the brakes, but other than that, I'm just lubing the axles. And I sort of live in the life that way. I drive a Toyota Tundra. Don't really need to do so much work on them. I do now, though. So somehow I have 5 weeks to go. My engine is on the stand. My transmission is at the builder. My differential is sent back to the manufacturer in California. And my truck has to go to the shop, at least one shop.
Right.
Probably two, because I got a little rusty frame issue going on.
Oh.
So I'm going to have it repaired and seal it and all that jazz. But it also randomly decided that something went wrong with the parking brake.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Last year, we decided to upgrade the interior of our trailer. So I put down the coin pebble floor that was in there, and we put longer E-tracks. We ran E-tracks all through the interior, and hung lots of gadgetry up. We decided we have a V-nose on ours, and we decided to actually take out the workbench because we never really used the workbench, and it allowed for more storage up towards the front. For now, And then I'll probably end up dropping a table on the side. We do have a table that could lay out on the side of the interior. But I need to finish putting the pebble flooring on the ramp. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to actually do that because of its exposure to the outside. I'd like to, work on the detail a little bit on the inside. We do know that our truck, our hauler right now is having a connection issue with our trailer right now where it's not activating the brakes. And fortunately, we've been okay with having very light haul and on relatively flat ground. But that needs to go into the shop like probably the end of this month. We have to, our hauler doubles as a snow plower for the company that we run. So we can't just drop it off right away. We have to wait till we're post snow season in order to
Right.
kind of right on that edge, So it'll probably
one place
go
wanted to
end of
do the whole
April.
body harness.
I mean,
and I
the
was
end
just
of
like, no.
Yeah, probably end of September. We'll probably end up taking it beginning of March. We'll take it in and get it done. It'll give us probably about a good 6 weeks before our first haul. So we should be okay.
That's a big one though, right? So I know that my wiring issue is on my dinky little trailer
Mm-hmm.
and not on my body harness.
Right.
Thank God.
Right.
Yeah.
But you got to hook this stuff up early so
Yeah.
you know what you're
Mhm.
going to do. And then
Absolutely.
it's just another item, just like your car, where you're going to have to account for it throughout the season, right?
Right.
So in your logistics, in your budget, you got to look at that. Okay. Like just don't forget the truck and the trailer
Mhm.
when you're planning race car logistics, because
Right.
they can turn into a big deal,
Right.
And-
And the other thing too is it's a good thing somebody had told me who actually specializes in trailers and his own trailers is that a good habit to get is when you start going about and doing all your tires and your servicing, it's a good idea just to go ahead and just change the hubs on all your tires because there's nothing worse than driving down the road and having that stuff go wrong because when a hub goes on a trailer, they're not easy to find on the side of the road. So
Yeah.
that is a good habit to get into, knowing that it's time to change all your tires on your trailer, change all the hubs at the same time.
Or at least pack the
Some-
bearings.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us made sure that we converted everything to what Tractor Supply sells. Just
Oh,
saying.
good call. Good call.
We did that before we drove from here up to Pennsylvania, picked up a car, went down to North Carolina, dropped that car off, drove to Monroe, Louisiana, picked up what is now the race car, and drove home.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, I don't know, 2,400 miles of circuit driving. And I was like, yeah, we're going to make sure that we carry all the stuff for
And
that.
those trailers also have to be inspected yearly. At least I know in PA they have to be inspected yearly, so they have to get a sticker for it. So you need to make sure that happens too, because if you get pulled over, they could pull that too.
Or you can be like
I'm not-
Jaime and live
Yeah.
like 20 minutes away from the racetrack and drive your
Yeah.
car to and from the track with a cage in it, you ding dong.
Yeah. So
I mean-
I have a bit of work to do. I have a bit of maintenance to do, and I have to get back into the garage. I think Bill is working on another build. Is that what you're doing? Is that what that's sitting up on the lift?
Indeed.
W? Yeah.
Indeed.
So I'll be learning a new platform. BMWs have a lot of plastic. Man, they got a lot of plastic.
Yes. And
Yeah.
good luck with all of that.
Yeah. So the at least the Honda is more like a Lego, and so is my Miata, but that BMW is going to be a whole brand new platform.
Yeah. Which BMW is this? The E46?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is? Okay.
I don't know enough about them yet.
So we sort of hinted at it earlier, and it's also in your guys. Well, it's definitely in my goals for part of it's in my goals for 2025, but I wanted to talk. You can't, if you're ignoring it now, I think you should put it to number one as one of the things you need to work on in your race program. And that is driver development. And I sort of combine that with health and fitness, but also look at your data. If you don't look at data, this is the best time. Sit down and look at it now. Try to figure out stuff, but also define practice days that you could go to because they're much cheaper than race weekends. And then, yeah, around here they are.
Doesn't seem like
my race weekends are terrible. They just turn into a terrible expense where, well, I also am really super close to Summit Point. So, and I can just go, I'm sick. I'm going to the racetrack, and my boss is like, okay. And so I can get like a random Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
So, but driver development, driver preparation, like I would start looking into that personally. I mean, I have a checklist. I definitely am getting at least 4 hours on the sim every week. And I'm trying to hit the gym 3 or 4 times a week because I did this stupid mountain bike race thing that I'm going to keep doing. So, but you got to look at it now, right? It's cold. You don't want to do some of these things, but you can start planning to do these things when it's more convenient. And then when you do them,
there's a really weird sensation that you get if you're not paying attention to your driving. That when you step out on the racetrack for the very, very first time, everything seems so much faster than it really should be. Everything just seems off. The sensory overload for like your first trip out on the track, the first time you open the season, it's very unnerving. So it is a good idea to get a couple laps underneath your belt before you even step out onto a racetrack.
I mean, we talk about knocking the rust off, but it can be substantial. I mean, I know my first event is going to be mid-March. Okay. If it's sunny out, we should be able to pull some really optimal times, but we won't see those until Sunday because all day Saturday, assuming we don't do a Friday practice day, all day Saturday, we're just trying to figure out how we got here and what are we actually supposed to be doing, you know? So you can shrink that time of rust knocking off by going to things beforehand, by preparing yourself as a driver during the winter, and you have to continue it, right? What's the time frame between your race weekends for you guys?
It's usually a month or 6 weeks, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so same for me, right? But what I think the sim is an invaluable tool if you use it correctly. And I don't know if I'm going to have a whole lot of rust to knock off, right?
Should be less, yeah.
It should be less. But, I know in the Southeast, they take the summer off like California because it's just too hot, right? Okay, your sim works in the air conditioning,
So there's nothing wrong with simming during the season either.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Just sim during the season or go to an indoor kart track, right? Do something to just keep your hands and feet moving, keep your brain working on racing. I think it's imperative to try to plan and put those things into your race program.
So one of the things that I did early on in our racing lives was, we came at this relatively later in life. I like the people who say, I didn't start till late. I started when I was like 19. And I'm like, oh, dude, I started at 3 of 19s. But anyway, I tried to do 1 hour a day, at least 5 days a week, every week, racing related. Now that could be working on a car, it could be ordering parts, it could be planning a aspect of the race program, anything. Sim racing, whatever. But if you do that type of commitment, it doesn't sound like a lot. It sounds like an hour a day. It's no big deal. You can do that. It's pretty easy. It adds up, especially 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. It helped me a lot. So something to think about.
For sure. So, Vicki, how much car development have you guys been doing?
This season, none.
None?
At this moment. At this moment, none.
Okay. Last year, you guys were doing you were at least changing the suspension up on it a little bit, right?
Yes. Yeah,
yeah.
We basically broke all our cars last year, so we're in repair mode right now.
Yeah, we were end up in our garage in January. The team had given me a break this year. They kind of gave me a pass. They said, "Listen, don't rush that car. We're going to let you have the race truck and kind of deal with your junk, family junk that's going on." So which is actually a nice break. But I do feel a hole in my routine right now. But I do have to get back into the garage. Absolutely. And getting these cars around to the straightener and the body shop as soon as we'll probably send the next one over tomorrow. It'll come back in a few weeks. I think they're just going to try to. There's so many deer hits over at that body shop.
I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh, like the lot. There has to be about easily 70 cars that are just dings and deer hits. And I'm telling them, I'm like, listen, I am not looking for insurance quality on this car. I just need you to take this front, weld it. Well, as soon as you get it off, I'll take the donor car, get it off your lot, and then I'll be back over and just
make it straight.
I'll even paint the sucker myself on the other end. So they're just going to squeeze it in between two projects, and call it good. So that'll go back up and lift, and I'll be working on that while I'm racing the race truck. That won't be a problem. I don't think that the damage is that bad on that vehicle because it's right in front of the skirt weld, mostly.
You have to do the transmission though.
Yeah, I have to do the transmission. The transmission came back a little off after we had gotten it, so we were actually missing fifth gear. It just wasn't there. Yeah.
Okay.
So not that we would need it, but and there was a couple other little tweaks that we had to do, but that was going to be the other one. Is actually in my lessons for the year is to tear down and put together a transmission. That was going to be the big one. I've already done 2 engines with assistance, three engines with assistance.
3 engines.
Yeah.
3 engines and 2 transmissions.
And that wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. So the transmission is going to be the next one in my learning.
Yeah. I love engines. Transmissions are voodoo to me. Yeah.
They're all puzzles. It's just a puzzle.
Oh, it is. It is.
I've come to the conclusion that a car is an animatron.
Okay.
Yeah, and it all kind of people might look at it kind of weird, but coming from a mom background, the car has all the elements of the human body, and it's essentially an animatron if you look at all the way it's broken down. And understanding it that way kind of made me understand the car a lot easier to put it all together and how it all functions and flows.
Yeah, I think too mechanically. I don't know if I could do that, but
whatever it takes to keep her in the garage and me out of the garage, our team is better for it. Animatron,
right?
Sure.
So some of the things I work or am working on is I had custom sway bars made because my car has a couple of sway bar kits, but none of them got the car turning the way I wanted it, right? I needed a little extra. Well, I went a little overboard and I did the math and I was like, well, I'm going to test 1,000 pounds worth of spring rate between one end of one of the bars. I did 3 bars. So there's 9 settings between the 3 bars. So there's 1,000 pounds of spring difference. I'm going to start as light as possible and start inching my way up until I don't like it. And then I'll go back one. Right. So, but that's the kind of car development you can do now, but it needs to go into your schedule.
Yeah.
The first time I turned that car with a sway bar is not going to be a race weekend, right? Or I hope
Right.
not.
No,
There's
no.
lots of people who do though, Colin. So I mean, it's worth saying.
It, it is worth saying, but and I understand that you can do it that way. You probably shouldn't do it that way. Now I'm running tight on time. I'm really tight on time. Today, my oil pan baffle came out of Canada. The whole politics stuff with tariffs and all that stuff made a mad rush of orders, and then the port that was taking my package was overwhelmed, and it was delayed by 10 days.
That's the other thing. You can't count on parts being on the shelf.
No. Oh, the daily driver Honda Fit, I need to put a clutch master cylinder and a slave cylinder in it. There are no clutch master cylinders or slave cylinders in the DC area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not even the dealer had them. So I was like, okay, I'm going to overnight them, and it's coming out of New York. So, yeah. I mean, getting parts is hard. So you need to start, in my opinion, I start planning what I'm going to do for car development as I know I'm wrapping my season up. So that's how I actually start my plan for next year. I start my race program for next year by going, what am I changing to this thing, and what do I need to order? Yeah.
I do the same thing for, we like our ST43 brake pads. I order my ST43 brake pads in July for the next season. So when they come in, I'm cool. I
have an order from last June that still hasn't been fulfilled.
I'm sure. It is what it is. I mean, so you just gotta. But if you sat there and waited till now to order them, you'd have zero chance.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know a Ray Bestis rep, right? You talked to somebody at Ray Bestis?
Yeah.
You may need to hit that person up and be like, "Are you actually making these things anymore?" Because I bet they changed the pad a little bit so that it wears out a little faster. Because they can't be making money. I was using one set every 2 years.
Yeah, and we love it for that, because we do the same thing. We can, if we start a lot of new drivers. So, but if we start a brand new set at the beginning of the season, there's a chance we can finish the season with that same set. And endurance racing that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, a lot of hours.
That's a light car and stuff, but whatever.
So you guys talked, Bill mentioned the checklists earlier, but they were checklists for packing.
Everything.
My wife,
I have checklists for everything.
Everything.
Okay. My wife is a stickler for the packing one, because when I go, I got it, no big deal, I forget all the important stuff. I've literally forgot the torque wrench and a tire gauge, which is basically what you need to start going to the racetrack with, right? Make sure your wheels are tight and make sure the air pressure's right? Yeah. I forget those two. Spare transmission, gotcha.
Got that.
Spare wiring harness, got that.
Right.
What, torque wrench and an air gauge? No. So that's what I do. But what we've started doing is we have a checklist trackside.
Yeah.
And it was part of my program because I wanted to start getting better with air pressures, getting better with what influences air pressures. So if I make a bar change, how's that changing my pressures, right? If I make a spring change, how's that doing my pressures? Because pressures are big. So are temperatures, right? So we started tracking temperatures and pressures. And then the if we made any changes to the suspension, that was noted in there. And then also debriefing me, the driver, right? So I come off and go, this is what I feel, right?
Yeah. Got to have the feedback loop.
I have the feedback loop, and then I get into my data, and then I can sort of look at both, right? And say, well, I felt this way, and this is what the data says, and those types of things, right? So that's a big part. In 2024, that was the biggest, not the biggest, second biggest thing I did to help increase my speed. First was get track time, just straight track time.
Yeah.
But during that track time is when I developed the process that got me better pressures, better temperatures, which is better alignments. If you're the disparity of temperature across the tires pretty even, you're getting as much contact as possible,
right?
Which means you're using the tire as much as you can, right?
Yeah.
So those trackside processes were really key for me. I don't know how that aligns with you guys in the endurance racing. I mean, there has to be, you guys split days, right? So there's a Saturday, Sunday halvesy, like halftime. Do you have like a big checklist for Sunday or Saturday evening?
Yeah, we have a checklist, pre-flight checklist, which means before we leave the hangar. We have arrive at the race just in case, because we've had things happen magically on the way. Then we have the morning of race list. Then we have the post first day. What do we got to do? And we honestly aren't terribly great at having the energy to do it. So it should be done Saturday night, but sometimes it goes to,
For the most part, it does get done on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
We also have a large whiteboard that breaks down how our weekend driving and our hot pit's going to go. Plus, it has a section for stuff that's missing that we didn't bring this time that we need to bring, something that's going wrong that we need to fix, and then parts that are needed.
Parts, tools, whatever.
Parts and tools that Bill needs for the run. Bill's not only is their organizer, but he's our runner. In between, he kind of does that very quickly and very well. So, but that keeps everybody organized in the moment. So that is our list in the moment.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about who's going to drive your car.
To drive.
Yeah, I do that.
Yeah. He does his shift, and then
Con's first race, Con drives. Con's second race, Con drives.
Con drives. Yeah.
Third race, Con drives.
Yep.
Last year, I let Mike drive my car for race 2 and 3. But yeah,
yeah, our segments go about 8 hours one day and 6 hours another.
Okay.
So
depends on the race.
Cycling through
all over. There are true 24s. We don't do them because they're what we view as work.
Brutal.
I do this for fun, and the idea of getting there for Saturday start at noon, ending Sunday at noon does not sound like the way I want to spend my weekend. So I'd rather have the breakups.
And Bill's a nap.
Yeah.
So he enjoys his little nap. If he can go in and grab 20 minutes or a half hour, he's ready to go all over again.
That's right.
In my house, if I take a nap and you wake me up, I'm a bear. Just leave me alone. I can't power nap like that.
Power napper.
You don't want to. You don't. I personally, at this time in my life, do not want to race in the dark, because racetracks are in the middle of nowhere by necessity. And driving in a race car, most of our cars don't have headlights, and the tracks have no lights. So, that doesn't sound
exhausting.
Like fun.
It's exhausting.
I'll pass.
I don't want to be exhausted. That's no fun.
It's work.
Being exhausted and driving for me is no fun.
Yeah, I think at the amateur level, depending on the series and the group and the preparation level required, I think the risk reward is going to vary a lot, but it could be on the low side, especially when the sun sets, right?
Yeah.
This is not IMSA at Daytona. This is...
No, and Daytona has lights, just FYI. There's lights there.
There's lights. Yeah. So they turn their lights on.
They do.
Daytona turns their lights on.
They do.
Everybody's happy. This is not pitch black at whatever, Pocono, VIR, wherever.
I mean, we did a race at Charlotte that went late. I think it raced till like, let's say 9, maybe 10. I don't remember. And the outside, they paid extra for the track lights to be on. The outside lights, like on the high banks, awesome. He had no problem. I tried taking pictures of her on the infield because I could get some great angles.
Dark. So dark.
I don't know how she would see where she was going, and I couldn't take any pictures because the camera did the 50-second focus because it's waiting for the light to get there. And the car is gone, like long gone. I'm like, okay.
And that Roval, you don't, because the race cars didn't have the lights on the front. They just didn't. And you don't know, you never notice the walls until you hit them. You
oh,
really
Lord.
don't. And there is no pull off when you go into that Roval. They're just walls and they're tight.
You said at Charlotte?
Charlotte Roval, yeah.
Yeah, the Charlotte Roval.
In the dark.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. The outside was great. Going into the inside.
iRacing this week. It's the Miatas at the Charlotte Roval.
There you go.
Oh yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah.
They're cheaper to repair than our. We actually the only car we've ever.
Be careful of those. I'm telling you. There's no runoff.
Press escape.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is no escape.
Restart. There is an iRacing though.
Yeah, there is for iRacing. It's a good way to learn. That's how I'm doing some things. But Bill, you hinted at garage and workshop organization and you're labeling your bins and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I got really good at labeling my bins. And part of my program manager, like the process improvement Lean 6 part of me says I need to barcode my bins and have some sort of scanner, and then it pulls up my spreadsheet that tells me what's exactly in there. But I've, like you, have come across labels that part isn't in there anymore.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we never scratched it off. We never removed that piece of tape, whatever.
So so there's a couple of things that I've done to work on this for parts. Then there's the whole tools are a whole separate thing. But for parts, if you do the labels on the edges, and then what I like to do is once I have a stable platform, like these are what goes in this tote, I will print out a sheet and laminate it and put it inside. And each of those will have a marker. And then if you take something out, at least mark it off. And then I know what's going on. You have a better chance of that working than I do because you have 1, 2, or 3 mutants running around. Yeah. And I've got 12. And everybody's trying really hard. And everybody's really helping. Except sometimes they take stuff and I don't know.
There's Bill gets very handy with the Brother P Touch.
Oh, yeah. I've got 3 of them.
He's Brother P touched our entire hangar.
Yeah, baby.
Everything is labeled. Shelves are labeled.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Our cabinet, now we have a cabinet, he's labeled everything. He gets on a binge with that thing. And it's good because I understand using like the barcode, but the barcode seems like an extra step. And when you're kind of like in a rush, everything is just all on the outside. And then he's got it categorized by in the car, outside the car, general, electronic, and it's all suspension. We have like a whole suspension bin. Just that's it. So it kind of breaks down pretty easily. Now, what I did find out is that we do have a friend when they were racing a Miata. What they did was they built a cart that had an extra engine on it, and everything on that cart was held together in almost like a rack system of everything that they were going to need. They had all their suspension parts that were all on this rack, and they would wheel this rack with the engine and everything that had all the spare major parts for their Miata, because they're not really that large if you really think about it. They're not big pieces, and they would.
So they brought a spare car without the tub.
Yep.
Right. They just put everything of all the big parts. But they also had a habit of like driving their car. It was an endurance car, but they had a particular problem of overdriving the car. So they have a habit of blowing engines or money drops, money shifts. So that was a big issue with their team, which is one of the reasons why their team broke up. But anyway, I thought it was really kind of fantastic. They had this car this cart that they would wheel with everything that they needed on it of major parts, not all the little ones. They still have bins.
Well, I know what your welding project is for
Right?
2025.
100%.
Yep.
I'd be interested to see how you engineer it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's easy. I can send you a picture when we're done. I have it. I've already done it for both cars.
Okay. Look at you. See, the doctor came out. He was like, I got it. Don't worry.
It's the engineer in him is what it is. The processes man that he is.
Lean Six Sigma and Kaizen will kill you, man.
For sure.
Definition of an engineer, somebody who's fairly smart and very lazy. So I will work hundreds of hours to save 5 seconds.
Yeah, but if you save that 5 seconds for the rest of your life, you make it back up.
I know, but it's never my 5 seconds. It's always somebody else's 5 seconds. So,
yeah, but then if you do it for 100 people,
I know, I'm a giver. What can I say?
Right. Yeah. See. All right. So if you had one best practice to help somebody improve their race program this year, what would it be?
Car side or driver side is my first
Either
question.
one.
I only get one?
Either one.
You suck.
Or one of each. I don't care.
Okay. Driver side. Either get a coach.
That's what I was going to say.
Or read a book.
Okay.
Easiest way. If you can afford the coach, get the coach. Mm-hmm. If you can't, go get Ross Bentley's Ultimate Speed Secrets.
Okay.
But you have to read it.
Yeah, I would
say
Vicky. The biggest improvement that I made is when I took a skid pad training twice. That drastically improved my skills just in general of car control, more than it would be of me going out and having a coach and having just driving around the driving around the track. Because having a skid pad enabled you to understand the limits of the slide on your car. So you were able to push your vehicle just a little bit more and know where that edge is.
So
be comfortable with it.
For the home game players, you'll notice, obviously, Vicki and I are married, because when I said get a coach, she said, oh, that was what I was going to say. And then she comes on and says the skid pad, because that's even better than a coach. Do you see? This is how.
No, but I mean, that's just like definitely have a coach. But that was one step up beyond the coach was, doing that.
Yeah.
For me, it was.
Whatever. So for the car, narrowing it down to one is so hard because you've got things. I'm going to cheat now, Con. Watch this. So pay attention here. This is master at work here. For the car, you could sit there and say, well, talk to some friends that are racing people and find out what your weak spots are and what they do. Or you could say, hey, make sure to prep it hard and be ready for the season going in and have your spares ready so that you can take care of the hiccups. But since you asked for one, and I obviously wouldn't want to cheat, give you 2 or 3 by evading your question and giving her hypothetical situations. The one thing that I never thought about that I thought was cool is a friend of ours, John Lavin, was instrumental towards a lot of our improvements as a team and improvements in terms of preparing our car. What he recommended was do it by, nope, it's not the one you're laughing at.
Okay.
Do it by hours, not by miles. So what he did was he installed a hour meter in the car. Every time you turn the kill switch on and the car starts up, the hour meter starts to roll. And then he keeps track of his wear by the hours raced. And then he can have a preventative maintenance, which is ideal because the last thing you want is your wheel bearing to break. Your tire to pass you going into turn 7. Tires are very fast when they don't carry a car with them. I don't know why. They're much faster.
They keep going.
They do. Like we lost our tire. No, it's right over there. But I think doing that will eventually allow you to get a more mature, not in the way of bow, 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 but in terms of developed racing program. And you can start to predict like, hey, my front wheel bearings wear out in 100 hours. My rear wheel bearings wear out in 400 hours, or my brake pads, or my. And I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I would agree with that.
What?
Okay.
What?
I would.
She
And the
agrees.
other thing too is sometimes when you're early on in the season and depending on how much you're you're doing in between races, is just don't take an unfinished car to the track. Even if you know, we do our best not to do that. Sometimes we end up like, oh yeah, I'm just going to change the brakes, there.
I'll finish it when I get there.
Yeah, I'll finish it when I get there. Don't do that because you're paying for an expensive garage weekend, is what
Really
you're doing.
expensive. And
Yeah.
it if something goes wrong, you're now at the garage. You're at the racetrack, hopefully in a garage, or you borrowed a garage from a friend, but you don't have all your tools. You don't have all your parts. You don't have, oh, it wasn't my wheel bearing, it was my axle,
Yeah.
and fix it, test it,
Yeah.
make sure you fixed it, and then go to the racetrack.
Mm-hmm. Because sometimes that happens. I've
Oh
seen a
yeah.
lot of people pull up and we've been guilty of it also,
I just need an oil
especially
change
early
and
on in
change
the
my transmission.
season, and especially when we didn't understand what consumables were. You
Yeah.
know, when people are starting out, they don't understand the idea of consumables. They just drive their vehicles as if, well, when it breaks, I'll take care of it. Well, that doesn't work in a racetrack car. You have to manage that before that happens, as
For
safe
sure.
with this timer. So,
Yeah, sprint racers are notorious for loading a car on the trailer and going, man, there was a vibration or something. I heard something. I'll find it when I get home. And
Yeah.
then they never touch the car until they come back to the
and
track.
they've forgotten that I've done that. They've forgotten the fact that there was a problem.
That's why you
Oh,
write
yeah.
it on the whiteboard saying,
Yep.
when we go home, we have to fix the XYZ because,
Mhm.
you finish the race, you do field expedient repairs, whatever,
Yeah.
but you need to fix the problem. So now I do know of stories of people who fix their car on the way to the track with one of the team in the trailer working on the car while the other people were driving the car. Not recommended. Not
Yeah, I don't
recommended.
condone that kind of behavior.
This road was closed.
One of the
and it was
big
under, professional
Yeah.
supervision. Blah 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 blah.
um, I my biggest thing is one thing my wife does for me that I appreciate is she basically requires a weekend debrief.
Mm-hmm.
So on the tow home, she wants to know what's broken. She wants to know what's changing between.
She's your
It
manager.
makes me. She is. She really is. And then when we get home, she's like, "Hey, why are you trying to get on the sim when you have to fix the real race car?" Stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
um,
She sounds like our Bill.
Con,
she is,
like
but she
I,
doesn't turn a wheel.
Con, like I, vastly outkicked his coverage when he got married as well.
Yeah. Hey, man, I can't help it if she wants to slum it. It's fine.
Why are you still married? She said yes. Well, whatever.
Well,
I'll take it.
There you go.
I take charity. It's fine.
All right.
So, Con, I've got an opportunity. You just thought of something that I've talked to you about before.
What is this?
You have. It's not like me to, try to inject myself into your podcast. But hey, here I am.
That's cool.
Post-race recaps. Perhaps if you knew somebody who knew how to record, well, you could do those as a bonus episode after every race weekend. Someone could do it while you're driving home, relatively cheap and easy, and then you could put it out and let your listeners know exactly what you feel hot coming from the track. Just a thought.
Maybe. That sounds like
We'll
work.
think about it. I'm usually way too tired to talk.
That's okay. Right into garageers and training@gmail.com, and you can make your votes, because I don't think Con's going to listen to you. I mean, he's dedicated to you listeners, but I think he's drawing a line there. I think he should do it.
Well,
don't you guys? I think so.
Yep. We usually
can also-
do the debrief on the way home. Bill calls in, and we'll probably spend the next hour driving home and just discussing how to. It's always with us. It's always what went right, what went wrong, and how we can do things better. And that's how we always manage our conversations when it comes to that.
There's very few weekends when something didn't go wrong.
Yeah. And how can we not have that happen again?
See, here's the part that people won't be down with is that we'll interject 50 times in between this conversation. That's it. We're trying to figure out where to eat dinner.
That's
basically.
Listen, I drive enough on the East Coast. I can usually tell you a place to stop and the exit to get off at. I'm pretty good at this. It's one of my superpowers.
Yeah, so we're timing. We try to time our hangriness because we both get hangry, and trailer parking, truck and trailer parking, and all that jazz play into it. So in the middle of the debrief, when somebody gets that hunger swell, the debrief stops, and it's where are we actually eating?
I can edit this for you, Con. I am a giver. I am a devoted listener and willing to add this to your podcast if you choose to do so. Listeners, Garage Heroes and Training at gmail.com. And I will convey it back to one Mr. Khan and say, hey, the people have demanded it. They want to know.
Demanded it. Okay. Yeah. There won't be that many demands, I promise. But okay. This is the segment, 2025 segment. You ready? We're wrapping up. Bill listens, I know, so he listens to it twice.
Are you going to do a Trash Panda quiz on me? Don't do it.
No. We're not doing Trash Panda. What? Okay. Vicky's going to go first.
Okay.
Because I don't think she knows where it's coming.
Okay.
Vicky, what is your favorite racer excuse?
Or what do you mean excuse for what?
So for not being fast that day.
Why didn't you win?
Why didn't I win? I just missed my marks.
Okay. Mr. Bill?
I start every race day with the same speech to our team.
He does this.
Listen, if we came here to win, I would have brought a different car and vastly different drivers.
He does say, his whole thing is just have fun. If you have fun, the rest will come.
Well, so are Mario and Ian, and are they racing with you guys this year?
We're trying to get Mario to race. I think Ian has a self-imposed retirement from racing. We're trying to talk him out of that.
Okay. All right. Because I was going to say, I think it could be kind of rowdy. So,
well, I mean, you
may not need a different car.
One thing that would help convince Mario, and you brought me to a very nice segue. Thank you, sir. One thing that would help convince Mario would be if somebody would come to race with him on said event. Perhaps somebody who's been to an air hangar where they did their aerodynamic testing on vastly different cars. Maybe somebody like that. Maybe somebody with a podcast. He's been offered this before, still hasn't done it. Con, that's right. It's you.
When is it? That's the question. Yeah.
When isn't it? When isn't it? We have lots of truth. Think of it this way. How about this? You ready for my second line of it? This was my prepared defense when this topic came up, because I was going to make sure it did. Perhaps think of it this way. If you were to race with us at NJMP, then you would learn the track. You would get literally hundreds of laps on the track in a similar car, not the same, obviously, not as fast, but 100 of laps before your competitors at Mid-Atlantic. You would own them.
Well, I don't know how many Mid-Atlantic people are going up there, and the competition would be fierce. It's going to be fierce no matter what. But when is the NJMP? Now you're going to make me Google.
Mid early May.
That's like the busiest time of year.
All you have to do is drive, sir. I have everything. We will have a spot in the RV waiting for you. Car will be prepped. Food will be ready. If you want, we'll get you some slippers. Whatever it takes to get Con into Garage Heroes and Training.
Yeah, right.
Driving a race truck.
Well, you have the BMW too.
We're not going to put the BMW in there.
Jeremy's BMW.
Yeah, see.
Oh, Jeremy's BMW. Yeah, we'll throw his car in limits.
and the Civic will be done by then, so we could have 3 cars.
Yeah, I'll take the Civic all day.
I know.
So
I just, thought it'd be there. Again, listeners, garageairsandtraining@gmail.com. Just saying, if you want to see this, we could have Khan come on the This Old Car show.
All right. Bill and Vicki.
VIR would be fun, though.
VIR would be fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
VIR is last weekend in June.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I want to say 28th or something.
You're making me look at my calendar on the air, but that's
well,
okay.
How are we supposed to plan a racing program if we don't know these dates, sir? Come on. This is what you called me for. You asked for this. You need this. You want me on that wall.
Yes. Okay. We'll see. VIR is in my wheelhouse, obviously. So
we've never been. It'll be fun.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Bill and
you'll
Vicki,
meet Dawson at VIR.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I will.
There you go.
So we're going to need to wrap this up now. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. We're even using their host. So
that's fine. It was either that, or we sound like this. So
right. Oh, the echoes.
I know.
Thanks again, guys. I
thank you, Con. Always fun talking to you, sir.
Yeah, likewise.
Until next time, keep working on yourself, keep working on the car, and let's get faster.